that were the scenes that took place. Unbelievable scenes of jubilation as the DRC qualified for the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff. We now know they just have one more game to qualify for the FIFA World Cup in 2026, and that'll be in March. So much of the conversation will be about that and so much more on the show. The CAF Awards took place yesterday. Mamadou Gueye is in Morocco. He was on the spot, and surely he will tell us about the food in the hotel and how it was in terms of the glittering occasion of African football with the CAF Awards. So can't wait for that. So much more to take place in the show. I'm your jersey number 10, Thomas Mlambo. Let me whip through who's in studio and who the wise men are today at the far post. It's Coach Sudesh. Coach, how are you?
All good, Thomas.
You happy with the awards? Happy with how they went?
The awards, one or two things.
One or two things?
Yeah. We'll talk about them.
Okay.
But generally it went according to plan.
Then the man next to me, Jeff Katala, he gets a call-up. You know when you go to the World Cup, then you get a call-up to Soccer Africa. The man out of the DRC never smiled as bright. I've never seen you this happy.
Yes, it was about time because it was a very long overdue.
74.
Yeah, 74, 52. And Haiti cannot qualify for the World Cup without Congo because both teams went to the World Cup for the first time in 74.
One of the things that Haiti is very famous for is voodoo.
No.
But you're not going to mention it.
No. So, I'm just saying it is one of the things that they're famous
Haiti and
for, right?
Benin, yeah.
Very famous. If you think of Haiti, voodoo comes into your consideration.
Yeah, but voodoo comes from Benin. Benin is the capital of voodoo.
The only reason I mention it is that Eric Chelle was talking about that.
Yeah, Eric Chelle was distracted just because you remember last at the AFCON he collapsed when he was coaching Mali.
So that's the pressure, Jeff.
Yes, but
so Jeff, there was no
not voodoo.
There was no voodoo.
No
way. Timber.
He was praying.
Oh.
Yes, he was praying.
All right.
We'll discuss it. There were allegations of voodoo as far as that last playoff match against Nigeria concerned. Jeff Katala, as a man out of the DRC, can maybe give us some more insights as to potentially what his thoughts on that are. And then closest to me, I've got a man who's coached here in South Africa with Orlando Pirates, took them to the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League, and he was at the FIFA Club World Cup with Ahly as the head coach of one of the great clubs of African football. It is just an honor to have Coach Jose Rivero right here next to us. Coach, it's good to have you. I mean, your perspective on Southern Africa as well as Northern African football, it's unique. We can't wait to hear.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to share this space with these wise people to learn a little bit more about African football as well. And yeah, so happy to be here with you.
We can't wait, Coach. Looking forward to it. And obviously the coach brought out to South Africa by Carling Black Label, which is why TK, right next to you there is the trophy for the Carling Cup. And that's what the coach will be talking to us a little bit later on about. But TK, what a week of football. We've got the Women's Champions League taking place. The final is tomorrow as far as that's concerned. The CAF Awards, the playoffs that have taken place. African football was busy.
It was busy, and after the Nigeria, DRC, Congo, I just collapsed. I simply collapsed.
You collapsed?
I collapsed
because?
No, I mean Nigeria. After complaining about Libya, complaining about Bafana, complaining about the referee, complaining about voodoo, and then they ended up not making it. So they are, but at least Ida Peterside has got a South African passport. He will not be sitting at home. He will be in the USA supporting Bafana.
I mean, it is difficult, guys, and let's talk about it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
We'll talk about DRC. Love the fact that DRC has been as good as they are, but really the story is that Nigeria didn't make it, or would you agree?
Yes.
Is it an upset? Is it a shock?
Very big shock, and it is for the very first time that I see Nigeria not qualifying for the World Cup twice in a row. It is very difficult for them actually to accept that. But there were no team against DRC. They didn't play. They had this kind of, coach will elaborate on that, vertical play where they have to send the balls to Osimhen. Once Osimhen was out, they couldn't play. And also with the two center halves of DRC, Tonzebe and Chancel Mbemba, They were men-to-men and cover. If Mbemba was going with Osimhen, Tonzebe was covering, and vice versa. They couldn't play.
Coach, as we look at some of the overlay of the game and what took place there, how big a loss for the World Cup is that Nigeria are not there?
Well, we're talking about like you said, guys, a traditional national team in every World Cup almost. It's true that they didn't manage to qualify for 2 times in a row now, but they used to be not one of the favorites, obviously, in the World Cup, but one of the sensations. They used to be. I remember when I was quite young still to be in the same group with Spain. They beat us in the group stages in a memorable game for them. After that World Cup, a lot of Nigerian players came to play in our league, in several teams, making an impact in La Liga as well. So it's one of those nations that you think that they are going to make it always to the final stages, and it's a pity that we cannot see them. It's true that they don't have the most talented generation, in my opinion, in terms of football, but still.
But coach, they are supposed to be the most talented. I mean, you've got Iwobi, you've got a player like Victor Osimhen, you've got the current African Footballer of the Year in Lukman. They are the best right now.
But not finding the way to play together, to put all of that talent playing together. It seems that there's more, like our college said, to play in a rush, to fit Osimhen as soon as possible and play from there, and that's a tricky solution in my opinion.
Well, it has been very difficult for Nigeria to win matches without Victor Osimhen. I looked at a stat earlier on, and when he was injured, Nigeria only got 4 out of 15 points, potentially, when he was injured, which showed you how important Victor Osimhen was.
Yeah, and even in that stat, those games that he missed, he had played 29 games before that, and they had only lost 5 of those games. So the whole team revolves around it, but I've got to jump on what the coach said. They individually, they're very gifted, but there's no game concept that they play around. There's no philosophy that they play around. And this is the problem of Nigerian football. They produce individual talents, but they haven't yet had a coach, or even the country itself doesn't have a set style of playing, the game concept. And I think this is where Nigerian football is always going to suffer. They might have the individual talents, but they'll never really go up to greater heights.
I looked at it, right, and I thought to myself, let's just try and really understand Nigeria's journey during this qualifier. And TK, jokes aside, they had a very difficult time, and maybe some of it self-imposed. So let's just quick reminder. Pizarro actually started the qualifiers in 2023, Jose Pizarro. Lesotho and Zimbabwe games, draws. Then he leaves in 2024 in March. Then Finidi George takes the next 2 games. He draws against South Africa, loses against Benin. Then after Finidi George, Egwavon takes over. Egwavon gets them through the AFCON qualifiers. They qualify for AFCON. Then Egwavon is now out of the team. Eric Chele comes in as far as the coach is concerned. How is that a journey to a World Cup? And then you get to the playoffs, and there's a strike right before the game against Gabon, where money is on the table, TK. People the players don't want to now train because they need their allowances and compensation.
Yeah, look, I like to always make fun of Nigeria and all that, but truly speaking, when you look at their journey, it's been disastrous and self-inflicted. I mean, when you look at either Peter said there was a time when he mentioned that the biggest mistake that Nigeria did was to get rid of Gernot Rohr. He said that he was a very good coach, and you can see what he's doing with Benin. But immediately after that, it shows at the number of coaches they've been changing. And then every coach, when he comes in, he comes with his own philosophy, with his own style, the way he wants them to play. And again, I think the coach and Sudesh has just pointed out one, I think, glaring weakness that Nigeria needs to take care of. And that is with their glut of superstars, they have not been able to get these players to gel as a unit. Maybe there are big egos there. Everybody wants to play for himself. But again, you also pointed out that Victor Osimhen seems to be the factor within Nigeria. If he's not there, they struggle.
Now, we've got a special guest joining us on the show, a legend of DRC football, And that legend is none other than Lualua. What a player he was in his playing days. Let me introduce you to him in more detail. The striker for the DRC went to 4 Africa Cup of Nations. He played his football at Newcastle. He played his football at Portsmouth, Olympiacos. He was in Turkey. He was all over the globe, and also a absolutely lethal predator in the box. Welcome to the show, Lomana. We love the fact that you're joining us, and we just need to hear from you what it's like on the ground in the DRC. As a former international with 31 caps to your name, how happy are you that the DRC are looking like they're at the door of qualification for the FIFA World Cup?
First of all, thank you, and hello to everyone.
Hi.
How can I say? I'm 90% happy, but there's still a 10% that we still need to pass. But I'm very, very happy, and I'm so proud of, for our team, the coach, the players. I don't know, we're just right in front of the door. We're just waiting for us to get in. It's like being in front of heaven. You're just waiting to come in. It's been a long time.
Do you wish you could turn back the hands of time, Lomana, and you could be potentially headed to Mexico in March and then maybe to the World Cup in June?
Yeah, it's a 50 because we're also thinking of the next month. We're also thinking of the African Cup, but at the same time, we're also happy. But March is far, so we're taking it one step by step. So for us, the blessing, the amazing thing is that all those youngsters now playing around the world now, they actually now start to think they put in Congo first option now. So back a long time ago, it was like Congo was like a second option for them. And what the coach has done, he's done amazing, getting all those youngsters to start gelling. And, there's a difference in wanting to play and sacrificing for your country. And these players now understand what it's like to wear those flags, to wear that flag for your, to wear that shirt for your country. It's a blessing. It's a really great time for us. The future's looking really great for us.
Lomana, one of the things that we're hearing, and you're closer to this, Jeff, you're also closer to this, is that Desambre changed the administrative part of how the DRC administers the team, how they run the side. He came with a new level of organization that is now showing that if you do the right things from an administrative point of view, you can be in this situation. Is that the case?
You know what the coach has done? He's bringing back our ID. For a long time, we didn't have an ID. We lost the idea that we have, like the way we play. If you go back in the time, we had players that really was fast on the wings. We had players that was really an attacking team. But for a long time, we wasn't attacking anymore. So we didn't have we had those players, but for some reason, the coaches that before, they had a different coach have his own philosophy. And obviously when the sub come, he was trying to find a way to find his ID, so player can understand what we're playing. So he was a bit more defensive. But now, he's got those players, he's got everyone, I think all the players knows, and the players that he's choosing now, so there's a balance to the team now. Before there was not that balance, but now there's a balance of the team. Yes, he has bring a new, fresh, new atmosphere, and he has his way of how he wants his games to play. And he reminded us of how Wakanda used to play, how all the players before us was playing, because Congo was an attacking. It was always been an exciting team, and we lost that. We did lose that bit, but now he's bringing it back, and really it's an exciting time. And knowing that with other players that are coming out now, they want to play for Congo. Let's be honest, people might not accept this, but Congo is the Brazilian of Africa. Wait. I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but Congo is a Brazilian of Africa. We have so much talent. Obviously, South Africa, we can understand they like the flair. But Congo, I think it'll be a great thing for us. It's been almost past 50 years. And if we can get there, that will be the biggest achievement.
You're still saying if. You're only on the show because we're sure you are going to beat Jamaica.
No, we're positive. Yeah, there's nothing wrong being positive. But football is not, it's a final to be fair. Whoever going to play, whoever's Jamaica, it's a final. So
Jamaica or New Caledonia, Lomana, are you telling me you're scared of one of those two? You're scared of either New Caledonia or Jamaica?
Yes, but a final, every game is different.
Ah, Lomana, come on. You wore the armband. You wore the armband at 2 AFCON.
My country, and I believe we'll go through, but you got to respect those other countries as well. So, you can't really turn around and say, okay, it's going to be, it's not mathematic anymore. It's not like the old time when you know that, oh yeah, we're playing this team, we can beat them. Anything can happen, but yes, I believe I've already suited up my case we're ready for the World Cup. I believe we'll go, but you have to respect other teams as well, so you can't really put them down.
Yes,
there's always the if.
Yes, Trezor.
Yes.
Trezor, when you hung up your boots, you were given a mission with the other players to go out in Europe to fetch to look for these young talents. But most of the people in Congo, they believe that you failed your mission. We had to wait until the summer came at the help of the Leopards to get those youngsters to come to the team. What is your take on that?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
I said he's saying that in your retirement, there was a mission that you were given to bring and find young talent around the world to represent the DRC, and that's something that December has bred, and not necessarily your generation of players.
The new generation of players?
Yes, that you were also given that task of trying to bring a new generation through. Was that the case?
Yes, well, from day one, we always like to have the players. Every player has always been an ambassador. I've always been an ambassador to get those players. And I also remember when I first saw Bakambu, when I was in Turkey, when we was playing against each other in Turkey. So my main thing, I used to use Zokora, because we used to play with DJ Zokora. So I used to go to him and I say, listen, let's go to these players and tell him that, why are you waiting for France? Come and play for Congo. Remember, because back in the days, me and Nonda was the only players that used to really
Shabani Nonda, what a name.
Sorry?
I said, what a name, you're throwing back, Shabani Nonda.
What's happening now, it was always a dream of us. Me and Nonda, we always wanted these players to come and play for the country. So every chance that I used to get, when I see a Congolese players, and I still do it now, I always tell them, come back home. Listen, don't worry, they will use you once, and then they're not gonna use you again. So come back home where you have that love. You if you ask most of the youngsters that's playing in the country now for the national team, they will tell you the atmosphere. They will tell you the fans. They will tell you that it's our job. As an ambassador for Congo, it's my job to go and get those players to come and play for the country. And also, you have to give credit to Mr. Desab. He's doing a great job. He's going to see the players. He's going to meet the players and talk to them. We're just adding up just a little things as being a legend in the country to tell them, listen, you can,
Lomana,
you can do better and more than what we did.
Lomana, before I let you go, I want to remind people of your celebration. I want to remind people of the footballer that you were in your playing days. That celebration was always a risk when it came to injuries. 7 flicks and then a somersault at the end. And I only found out today that you used to be a gymnastics guy. We should have seen you at the Olympics doing gymnastics.
I was a gymnast. I never really, football, obviously Dad played football, but I was more of a gymnast. Obviously knowing that when you're playing, as you turn professional, when you're playing football, you can't do other sports. So that was my only way to keep my gymnastic alive. So
well, you did.
When I score a goal, you're very emotional, but you do things that just whatever comes into your mind. So but Yeah, I've always been a gymnast, and hopefully you'll be seeing that. There will be one or two Congolese players in the African nation. You'll be seeing them doing that.
Let's look.
I'm teaching already one or two of them.
Let's look. And if at the AFCON we get to see it, and you see a player from the DRC doing this, they should just say they're doing the Lualua. Take a look.
They're gonna wait.
Guess who? Lualua! Lualua! And again, Lualua. Stand by for some celebrations. Gymnastic, acrobatic, head over heels again. We give him a 9.9 for celebration. I think I'd give him 10 at the moment. Lualua, and he has scored. And there's a variation on the theme. Lualua looking to finish it off. He has. Wonderful goal. Danger now and a goal. Yes. He is something special. The celebration gets better with every goal. Great celebration, you got to say that.
Coach, you're looking at that and just thinking, injury.
A little bit scary. Yeah?
I can think, wow, I don't know how I never broke my leg.
Lamana, we appreciate your time. Congratulations. I'm sure we'll catch up base with you again after the qualification. We're so confident that with just that one game in March against the winner of the game between New Caledonia and Jamaica, that the DRC will be the nation that goes from Africa to the World Cup. We're confident. Congratulations on getting this far.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Congratulations, Lua.
There you go. So there you go. There it is. Tresor Lualua, former captain as well, wore the armband, legend of the game when it comes to DRC football. Mamadou's been sitting there. Mamadou, let me just say hi, because we've seen you on many occasions, and you are one of those who used to tell us continuously that, you know what, Nigeria are going to make it to the World Cup. No World Cup is complete without Nigeria. They're not going, Mamadou. It has not happened.
Yeah, anyway, I am here in Rabat, Morocco, where the CAF Award took place yesterday. Obviously, I had an opportunity to meet with the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, the current one, and the former one, Pinnick Amaju. Then, obviously, you could see in their face, when I first met them, the real disappointment, to the point that the current president, Ibrahim Gossou, told me, Mamadou, you don't even send me a word of consolation, a message of consolation. And I told the president I wanted to meet you face to face, but it's a total disappointment, total disaster. I even tried to have an interview with both of them. They told me it's not really the right time. Let us go through this difficult time, this pain, and it's hurting. And even though they are not back in Nigeria, you could feel it here. Even during the award, of course, some Nigerians receive some accolade in the CAF award. The president picked one of them, and after the ceremony, I told him, well, at least Nigeria is fortunate. In the past 3 years, in each CAF award, Nigeria will walk away with a trophy, and he was a little bit relieved. You could see that it was close to, I could say, death. The disappointment was total. And even the Nigerian legends that were here, the Nigerian journalists that were here, everybody were totally disappointed. Obviously, I did believe strongly that Nigeria was going to make it to the playoff.
You are wrong.
That's why I am warning the Congolese now.
You are wrong.
I could hear we are the Brazilian of Africa. We are the best of Africa. Hey, take it easy. Slow down. Which Brazilian are you? A Brazilian who did not go to the World Cup in the last 50 years?
Mamadou, Mamadou.
Now, that is the situation.
Hold on, Mamadou. Wait, Mamadou. Wait, Mamadou.
I go to breakfast with some of them. They keep telling you about their deep disappointment. Of course, accusation flying from left to right, blaming one another. But the bottom line is they are mourning.
Okay,
They are
Mamadou.
really
Jeff, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Mamadou, why did you try to ask them about the voodoo that they are portraying everywhere that the DRC used to voodoo? To haunt
Why must
them?
he ask him? You can tell us if it was voodoo.
No, it was not voodoo, he was praying. The guy was praying.
What?
Yes, he was praying for the penalty to go in.
Praying in the water.
Yes, you can. There's some
But
video.
holy water.
Yes.
Holy water.
No. That's holy water.
Oh, okay. Holy water.
He's right. Yes, you can. You spray it so you have all the heaven coming. Angels from heaven coming down on you, and that's why the coach got distracted and didn't even see how the penalty was kicked and scored.
So it was not voodoo.
No, there were no voodoo.
No voodoo was you.
No voodoo. Mamadou, what is your take? You didn't hear.
People discuss even here the voodoo issue. Obviously, most of them don't believe in this voodoo issue.
Thank you.
None of them. All the Nigerians that were here don't believe in it.
Okay, Mamadou, I need to leave you there because I want to bring the coach into the conversation very quickly.
Yeah.
I know I'm losing time with Coach with us on the show. Coach, you were in the US. You were there for the Club World Cup. The games that you played, I mean, the opening game against Miami, which had you won, you would have gone, looking at the other results, you would have gone through to the next round of the Club World Cup. And there was even a missed penalty, Coach. When you look back at that Club World Cup, I bring you that because you know what the States is like. You know what America is like and what we can expect when the World Cup is coming along. What is waiting for the African nations when they get to the USA in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the place?
Well, obviously a very well organized tournament. They know how to organize those big events. I think the Club World Cup was a kind of experience for them, kind of practice training for the big event, for the Nations World Cup. Extremely hard conditions to play football, I have to say. Very, very hard.
Why?
Unusual. The humidity, the temperature was not proper to play football. And thinking the amount of teams that are going to be playing there, there's not going to be another option than playing games at 12 p.m. or 4 p.m. Like we have the experience to play Palmeiras 12 p.m. and I can tell you that it was not a proper football game. Together with the fact that the games were played in American football.
American.
Yeah, stadiums and the watering systems are totally different. They didn't have watering systems inside the field. The water was coming from the corners, so was not sufficient, was not good enough. It makes the games, especially at that time of the day, very, very, very slow. Yeah.
So the big concern, if you're saying African nations need to be concerned about, it's the environment, the heat.
It will require a good preparation for that, absolutely. They must put time and knowledge and emphasis in the fact that they are going to play in conditions that they are not used to play. We can, maybe in advance, you can think that maybe national teams, or in our case, teams from Africa, could have an advantage, more used to playing in those conditions, but in the end of the day, the winner was Chelsea. It's a team that
Who doesn't play in those conditions?
From the coldest place outside.
exactly, and I guess that they were doing something extra in order to make sure that the players can perform in that level, using not voodoo for sure, but at least using science and the best resources that they can get to make sure that the players can be in their best.
I mean, did you prepare when you were with Ahly? Did you try and prepare to accommodate the Club World Cup and the conditions you were going to meet?
Well, we went there with time enough to have to condition ourselves to the circumstances. We spent about 11 days before the competition starts. We have the opportunity to play one game there against Pachuca in Miami, and and get a touch of, clearly know what's going to happen on the day. We emphasize a lot in the hydration of the players and in the nutrition of the players in the previous days before the game. Even more important than the game day itself, but I think it was not a big problem for us in our performance, but you can feel that the way the players finish the game, it's even, that you can feel that they are even more exhausted than usual. It's so difficult to play with that level of humidity, especially in Miami. Jersey was not at the same level, but still was not good enough.
Are they spectacular? The stadiums, the place, to visit? Should we all be getting our passports ready?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a World Cup. If you have the opportunity to be there, it's an event that is a must, okay, for a football fan. And USA know how to organize this kind of events. It becomes a show before, during, and after the game. We all know that. The stadiums are good. The atmosphere was really good. Having the opportunity to coach Ahly also in a space like that, you can realize also how big the club is, because the stadiums were full of our fans, even in the States. And a memorable occasion, a memorable opportunity to compete in the highest level.
What was it like coaching Ahly?
Different. I would say two different phases, totally different. The time that we spent together to prepare the World Cup was really, really good. The motivation was super high. The level that the players show, not only to compete, also to try to absorb as quick as possible and as much as possible from our side in order to little by little become the team that we wanted to be in the future. We knew that during the World Cup we're not going to manage to be that team. We have to be more pragmatical. We have to go to that week, to those 15 days together, to say we need to go with a better game plan than the opponent. We're not going to be spectacular, but I have to say that I finished my time there in States disappointed that we didn't manage to go to the next round, and I think that we played good enough to be there, but at the same time so happy with the way that the players were embracing the philosophy and the mentality.
And then you said there's a second phase.
Yeah, the second phase was our preparation for the league. I think it's not easy for the teams who are participating in a Club World Cup to start again just with maybe 2 or 3 weeks between the pre-season and the World Cup. That was our case. We couldn't manage to give the players more than, I don't want to lie, but I think it was something like 14 days in between the competitions. The level of the stress that the players are going through in a competition like that, and in a club like Ahly specifically, it's so high. 2 weeks is not enough to disconnect from that moment, in your career, and start again in a pre-season. New concepts. Was not the best pre-season ever. Probably it was not bad. I mean, was good in terms of progression, but not as smooth as you're supposed to be, having in a new project. Not good results in the beginning. We didn't play well our first league game, but I think that from that game we managed to progress constantly, at least in the next 2 games. Not a good game against Pyramids. I have to be honest. I think Pyramids was better than us.
You lost one game, right?
One game.
You lost one game
against Pyramids.
You lost the job.
Coach, I think in support of what you said, because when you look at after the FIFA Club World Cup, you look at Chelsea and PSG, when they went back and the league started, their form dipped and they struggled.
Sundowns.
So same thing what you were talking about.
Sundowns. Well.
Yeah.
So I think Al Ahly, if the officials were a bit more patient, because you look now, PSG and Chelsea are back on the ride. So it's always a wave,
Yeah.
There's a peak and a...
I need to take a quick break, guys. I have to take a quick break. We've really not done that. And then we're going to keep the coach for 5 minutes. Then we need to let him go. Stay with South Africa. That's what every day we have a former coach of Al Ahly in the studio and a former coach of Orlando Pirates and a man who's been to the Champions League semi-finals and has been to the FIFA Club World Cup. That's Coach Jose Rivero sitting here on the show with us. And Coach, I need to understand something. Mohammed Al-Khatib, right, owner, president at Al Ahly, brings you in on a 2-year contract with an option, a 1-year option as well at the end to extend. and your time there is 3 months long. What did they want you to do that they felt you were not doing?
It's a good question. I didn't get so much explanations about it. The project for us and the mandate for us was to change the things in the team, to try to turn in a modern direction, in a modern approach of football, trying to bring a little bit more about the positional play, about being a much more dominant team in terms of football, not only in terms of result. Change the way to approach the profession of a football player, also the methodology, like a different vision. I think they have a good vision in their minds. They brought us there with the intention to push that vision forward. But in the end of the day, I don't know, these kind of clubs, the pressure, it's extremely big from media and from fans. And I think that at that moment, they couldn't manage to back up the coaching staff and myself, and they didn't have the patience that every project needs, and you have to accept it. It's part of the game, especially in these kind of clubs. And yeah, that's basically
and the
what
players? I mean, had they bought into this new philosophy?
I think so. You can never say 100%, all of them, but I think the feedback from the players from the first day in the training, which is the places where you can have the closest interaction with the player, was always positive. It was a group that they welcome us, telling us straight that they want to be that kind of team that they show when they play Pirates or when they play Sundowns as well, that can dominate the opponents, having the ball all the time and not only,
a counter-attacking type of team.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how they've always been, right? I mean, you played against them. You coached against them.
Yeah.
Was that part of why they wanted to bring you in? I mean, you beat them in Cairo.
Well, probably played a role because I think on the day our boys, they showcased them, honestly. In Orlando, in the first 45 minutes, I think we were superior, and in Cairo, I think we managed the game very well in many different phases. And it was, I think, one way to attract their attention.
Am I hearing you right when you're saying they want to, by bringing you in, they want to play more like an Orlando Pirates? They want to play more like a side like that?
A little bit more dominant in terms of possession, being a team that can feel and be a little bit more, or not a little bit more, much more comfortable on the ball in possession, and a team that can, have the capacity to be a group, to be a block, to defend together, to attack together, and know that style of 5-5, a little bit more fraction with more specific roles in each and every position,
And I think Coach is saying it nicely, but they want to play more like maybe the rest of the continent play. And guys, I'm going to give you a chance here now. Short question to the coach. I've got to let him go, and then we've got to move on to other things. So if you've got a short question, now's your chance.
Coach, you love South Africa, and I think South Africa loves you also, irrespective of team affiliations. Would you put your name in the hat after the next World Cup for the Bafana job?
Wow.
Yeah, that's well, first of all, it's amazing to only the fact that the people is asking me about it, that South African people is, wanting to know my opinion about that. It tells a lot for me, because it's a big responsibility. Being the national team coach of a nation that is not your nation requires a type of attribute that I need to discover that if I have, It used to be a position for coaches with much more experience than the experience that I have. But I think that approach is changing as well. I was actually on the verge of getting a national team not a long time ago.
Now, since Ahly?
Before Ahly.
In Africa?
Okay.
No, in Europe.
Right.
And I start to explore that possibility already for me for the future, to say how am I going to approach that possibility in the kind of a way that coaches used to do in the past, or And I think that right now is a position that requires you much more. You need to not only coach the national team, is a kind of a coach that national football. You need to contribute to the national football, to the football that is happening in that country as well. So, sorry.
TK.
Yeah, just a very short one, Coach. Back at Ahly, were there perhaps players that you wanted to sign and you were not given the opportunity to sign them?
No, that's a sensitive subject, because as a coach, obviously my trust on the players that I was coaching is it's so high, and if I'm selfish, I would like to take 3, 4, 5 of them, because everything is going to be much more easy for me to implement the way that I want to play. But I have to at the same time respect my team, my club, and just let the things flow. Sometimes that thing can happen, that maybe 1 or 2 players can join you to a new project because it's convenient for every part, not only for myself. But in this case, it didn't happen. But if you ask me, would you like to? Of course, because it's going to make everything much more easy for me. It could be a good step for some of those players as well. And yeah.
You thought you had the quality of Pirates that could have played for Ahly?
Absolutely, yes. There's nothing that can stop, not 2, 3, 4, I would say, much more players in our previous squad. I'm not talking about the current one, to play at that level. There's nothing for us to feel, I don't know what's the word, jealous to that kind of football or that kind of teams. Our players are more than qualified to perform at that level.
Let me jump in.
Hold on, guys. I have to leave you. I can't get another question. But what I did hear was, he said our. You see, it's South African play. Our. So going back to your question.
No, because
our. I need to leave. Coach.
Yes,
Trophy's
that's the
there in the
ability to
corner.
integrate youth and experience, and
Wow.
that's what's there.
Am I allowed to touch?
Well, you can. But I want to hear, Coach. So when we talk Carling Cup, the 13th of December, and the All-Stars. You coached the All-Star side. You coached a side that's been put together by fans in South Africa in the Carling campaign to play against the winners of the Carling Knockout. You're back for that now. How is this build-up looking for you? Are you excited? What can we expect?
It's different. I'm used to select players on the day and move that players when the ball starts moving as well. And now my role is to choose the person who's going to be on the touch line, helping one of our coaches in the league.
The champion coach.
The champion
coach who's just applied and said, listen, I want to try and be on the touch line. I want to be with the coach.
Yeah.
Now Carling gave that opportunity. You get to choose who that lucky fan is.
Exactly. And it's a huge opportunity for that person to experience what it means to be, there in the kitchen and feel the heat. It's hot. I can tell you that. It's very hot, so it's gonna be much more difficult than being a coach at home. Watching the games in TV, and it's nice that Carling can give our fans the opportunity to be there. We all know what it means for South African fans, their teams, their clubs, their players, and it's something that probably 3 years ago, I will not really understand from, my European perspective, but after 3 years here, I think that it's something that it's a fantastic initiative, in my opinion.
There you go. So, Coach, I know we promised to let you go sooner. Thank you very much. You've had a very long day.
Thomas.
I'm going to do a break. Coach Rivero, being with us on Soccer
so
Africa. Guys, I'm going to tell you, it's really, 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 he's had a long day, and we do appreciate that he's been with us, and so have to let him go. We're going to the break. After the break, we continue CAF awards and so much more fights that need to take place with the wise men. Mamadou was on the ground. Soccer Africa continues. Stay with us. Issues that have been on the table. We've highlighted the playoffs. Mamadou, I want to get you back into this one. 13 days plus minus, Mamadou, to the Africa Cup of Nations, where you are in Morocco. Should Eric Chelle be part of that for Nigeria? What are you getting a sense on the ground? Is his job safe?
I think for now his job is safe because here in Morocco, in Rabat, there are many officials of the Nigerian Football Federation, even legends and many journalists, and they all believe that they must allow him to go to the African Nation Cup, to come back to Morocco and probably deliver here in Morocco. I think people were saying that there are a lot of dynamic involved in this Nigerian failure, because you cannot come to a big stage like this on the eve of a crucial game of qualifier to the World Cup. You come here, expose your dirty linen in front of Africa and in front of the world. And definitely, I think that did play out. And it did affect really the group. And you cannot solely blame the coach, because there are so many dynamic involved. That kind of thing can destabilize any team anytime. Then I think it's just fair enough to allow him to go and try to prove his worth for the AFCON, which is just a few weeks away.
Let's hear what at least one of the players had to say. We did reach out, we did get an interview, a very short conversation with Calvin Bassey, and this is what he had to say on exactly that, the future that he thinks Coach Eric Chelle should have with this national team.
2 years on now, our team's more mature, played more games, we're more comfortable, more experience. So I think that's a positive. And Eric Chelle, yeah, he's good. I think he's organised us and helped us. I think we haven't lost a game since he's been manager, so he's doing something right. So yeah, like, he's a good guy. You know, he manages the group well and gets us ready for games. So it's good, man, and he's got a good backroom staff. And yeah. Obviously, we have to try and win AFCON, because that's the next step.
Yeah, TK, you know, for me it's one of those where you ask a player who's always starting lineup, but obviously this is the right coach.
Of course, anything else.
I'm not going to say he's the best.
Well, you're in the lineup.
What if he says? If he says you are out, exactly out. But I think some of the points he made, I tend to agree with you. Jokes aside, when we stop our jokes and all that, I think Eric Chelle has done very well.
And it's too late
since he came.
So he's saying.
But now it's too late.
I think we can only express our opinions, but I think it is up to the Nigerian Federation. If I was part of the federation, I would say let him stay.
All right.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Me, I'm a disciple of continuity. Chop and changing sometimes doesn't bring coherence in the team.
Well, it shows with Nigeria, chopping and changing didn't get them to the World Cup. They chopped 3 times.
Yeah, that's true. So they have to give him a chance. I know that Cap will take some kind of action against him for the voodoo saga. Probably who will be suspended for
Cap Awards.
Yes.
Glittering affair, magnificent. What did you think, Jeff? Were there any categories that had you feeling hot under the collar?
I have many mixed feelings about it.
Why?
Because I cannot. We're celebrating UEFA in CAF. That's my point.
What does that even mean?
Yes. Why we have to promote our own players from Africa?
Who are we celebrating there? Were they not Africans?
Yeah, they are Africans, but they're playing for UEFA. Most of them, they're playing for UEFA. They don't play for CAF.
Yeah.
And those guys, they come only for the national team. They don't play for the clubs. But when they do Ballon d'Or in Europe, it's about the club and the national team. But here we're celebrating people who are playing only for the national team when they came to Africa, because the clubs are in Europe. And we do have our Ndlolo, our Mokwede here, our Jason Mayele, who are not really known. And we call them the best African, best in Africa.
Yes, because these are the best Africans.
I don't agree. They should be best African, best in Europe. Yes.
Ashraf Hakimi, he won the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, the French Cup, the French Super Cup.
And
then he lost in the final of the FIFA Club World Cup.
Is it
His
CAF?
national team is undefeated in everything.
But is it CAF or UEFA?
No, he's the best in the world.
No, but Jeff,
Yes.
if I have to ask, if Lomana Lualua
Yeah.
got selected
Yeah.
for the CAF Player of the Year, would you say he doesn't qualify?
No, he doesn't qualify. He doesn't qualify. He should be the best. He's African. Yes, best African, best in Europe.
No, but his club is in Europe.
You know,
What
you know,
do you want him to
you know when was the last time that African player was awarded the best African player of the year? 85.
Yeah, because now we went to Europe and we're dominating in Europe. I want to look here. Bubista. Now you spoke about consistency and continuation.
Yeah.
There's an example. We had Bubista on Soccer Africa a couple of weeks ago. He's Capo Verde coach. He's now he's the national team coach of Capo Verde. He didn't get to the one tournament, get to the other tournament. He didn't qualify for AFCON. They stayed with him. And he got to the World Cup. He's now coach of the year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also made a bit of noise about that because even in the short list, the Pyramids coach, Juricic, was not even acknowledged. I mean, he won the Champions League, won the Super Cup.
I'm part of them as well.
So, you know, the criteria, if it's clear, for me, the question I had was the Women's Player of the Year, you know. I've got nothing against Ghislaine Chebak. She's a standing player. But, I mean, there was Rashidat. There was the player for me in that AFCON was Esther Okoronko. He didn't even make the shortlist, you know.
Ajibade won the player of the tournament at AFCON.
Yes.
So I hear you guys, but the CAF Technical Committee, media members from around the continent, players and coaches, this is what they voted.
Yeah, but we don't.
No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore.
Publish the results like
Mamadou. I'm excited about some of these winners. I think it's been too long that Hakimi has not been the African Footballer of the Year, and it was his time. What are your thoughts on the awards, how they went? They looked amazing on television.
Look, I can tell you one thing. It was a great moment and celebration here in Rabat, Morocco. And after the awards, even the dinner they offered, there was more food than people. I can show you how happy they were. I can tell you more food than people. Then the celebration went on and on. Even today, when I went out, all the Moroccans are celebrating and talking about the event and talking about Hakimi and welcoming you, asking you, where are you from? My brother, you are welcome. This is how happy they are. The entire kingdom of Morocco is happy and celebrating.
There you look at Ghislaine Chebak. She's the Women's Footballer of the Year. What a fantastic player she is. The Morocco sweeping Men's Footballer of the Year. Women's Footballer of the Year. They didn't stop the Young Player of the Year with Othmani Mamia. He was the Young Player of the Year, and he did brilliantly. I mean,
they won the Under-20 World Cup. Yeah.
Morocco, the Team of the Year.
Team of the Year. And I mean, there must be something that Morocco are doing that I believe as Africans we need to go and copy.
Goalkeeper of the Year.
Bono.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
No. Jeff.
What has he done? Because he played. You know, Edward Mendy won the Champions League in Asia. Why was he not among the three?
Morocco's under-20 are world champions.
Yes,
the under-17 are still in the tournament.
Bono, he's talking about Bono.
I hear you.
Bono, I can tell you what he did. You want me to tell you? Every single month he's the goalkeeper of the month in the Saudi Pro League. And then on top of that, when we went to the FIFA Club World Cup, he had 39 saves at the Club World Cup. He was the keeper with the most saves at the Club World Cup. So that must have played a role for him.
Why? When I said that South Africa should have been recognized Bafana because they qualified without any foreign players.
Yes.
You say that no, it's not quite good enough. But for him, because he did those saves, so he deserves to get it. No,
his job is to make saves.
Edward Mendy was supposed to be among the three.
I hear you.
And
but it didn't happen.
If the coach, I'm not against Morocco.
I said 39 saves. I meant 11 saves. Sorry, I looked at my notes. 11 saves he made at the World Cup.
Even the coach from the Chan, Tariq Sekchi, deserves to be there. And we don't recognize those who are playing in Africa.
All right, Jeff, not the most, but it's nice to get other perspectives as well. And we also do have tomorrow, don't forget, the CAF Women's Champions League final that now sees Aspar taking on ASEC Mimosas, and that should be a fascinating one. Will we see Aspar winning their second Women's CAF Champions League, or TK, will it be the very first time we see ASEC Mimosas on debut at the tournament? And I'm not even going to let Mamadou get involved because, you know, this is Cote d'Ivoire side. His prediction won't be unbiased.
Watching this tournament, I think ASEC Mimosa has done exceptionally well. But you kind of feel that ASPA, you know, the experience that they have and the home crowd behind them, I think ASPA will shade them in the final.
Well, Mamadou, now I need to bring you in because in studio they feel like your side from Cote d'Ivoire don't have enough to beat Aspar in Egypt tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I think that ASEC Mimosa, they just built up this woman team not long ago, like CAF is advising all the club in Africa, the professional club, to have a woman's side, and putting together this woman's side. They conquered Wafu. Now they are on the verge of conquering the continent of Africa. And TK, I warn you, don't write off these ASEC Mimosa girls. They are very skillful, they are very strong. They started the tournament by beating the champion, TP Mazembe. Everybody thought that it was a fluke. Here they are in the final, and they will keep surprising again.
And Habibu Wadrago is the top goal scorer at the tournament, and she is in that ASEC Mimosa side. Can't wait for the final, and we can't also wait to see who will be crowned the Women's Champions League winner. And also, that's interesting though, because CAF didn't give an award for Coach of the Year in the women's category because they're waiting for this tournament to end to see potentially if that coach would come out of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so we're still waiting. That's one award that's still pending, and that's why we had to bring it up towards the end of the show. Mamadou, thank you, and we can see that there was more food than people, and you put a lot of that food inside you. We can see you looking very healthy.
Come again, I can't hear you.
I said it looks like you had a lot of that food at the dinner last night. You're looking very healthy.
No, you can't hear.
I've lost Mamadou. Just when I wanted to insult him, he loses the feed. Thank you very much, TK. Thank you, Mamadou. Thank you to Coach Sudesh. Thank you, Jeff, for being with us. And again, congratulations on getting to the Intercontinental. The man out of the DRC.
Yes, what we'll do, we will take Jamaica to breakfast.
There you go. This is Vive Soccer Africa. I'm your jersey number 10, Mlambo. Africa, you've been updated. Good night.